Have you ever felt a secret so heavy it physically hurt to carry? I was staring at my laptop screen in the pre-dawn gloom of our Chicago apartment, the glow illuminating a single, unopened email. Its subject line was just one word: proof. My best friend Mark had called me 3 times in the last hour, his voice a panicked whisper, begging me not to open it, not to detonate the life I knew. He said some things are better left unknown. But the thing is, I already knew. I knew from the way my wife, Jessica, had started locking her phone. I knew from the scent of unfamiliar cologne on her clothes when she came home late from work dinners. I knew from the cold, dead space that had grown between us in our bed. Mark's panic wasn't for me, it was for him. And as my cursor hovered over the email, a cold, terrifying certainty washed over me. This email wasn't just the end of my marriage. It was the beginning of their destruction. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. For 10 years, Jessica was my world. We built a life in a brownstone in Lincoln Park, hosted dinner parties, and dreamed of a future. I was the steady, reliable husband, the one who supported her boutique clothing store on Armitage Avenue, the one who believed every lie she spun. The strange behavior started subtly.
Late nights became more frequent.
Her phone, once left carelessly on the kitchen counter, was now her constant guarded companion. When I'd ask about her day, the answers were vague, clipped. Just busy, she'd say, her eyes fixed on the screen, a faint, secretive smile playing on her lips. She became a ghost in our home, a beautiful, manipulative stranger who looked like my wife but felt like an enemy. She and Mark, my best friend since college, started having more business meetings together. He was supposedly helping her with her store's finances, yet they'd laugh at inside jokes I wasn't privy to, their camaraderie feeling less like friendship and more like a conspiracy. They thought they were untouchable, wrapped in a bubble of arrogance and deceit. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. I came home early, wanting to surprise her with takeout from our favorite Thai place. I found a receipt in the trash for a hotel room at the Peninsula, a place we only went for anniversaries. It was for 2 nights. My heart hammered against my ribs. I went upstairs, and through the slightly ajar bedroom door, I heard her on the phone, her voice low and intimate. "He has no idea, Mark," she was saying, followed by a soft, cruel laugh. "He's too trusting." It's almost sad. In that moment, something inside me didn't just break, shattered into a million pieces of ice. I backed away silently, the betrayal a physical weight in my chest. I spent that night on the couch, not sleeping, just staring into the darkness as the man I used to be died. In his place, a cold, calculating strategist was born. My grief turned to fuel. The next 3 months, I became a phantom, hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop, who specialized in marital infidelity. I needed more than just knowledge. I needed irrefutable, soul-crushing proof. While Jessica and Mark continued their affair, convinced of their own brilliance, I was building my arsenal. The Pie delivered a steady stream of evidence: photos of them kissing in a dimly lit booth at a rush street, bar videos of them entering the same hotel, copies of their text messages filled with sickening declarations of love and mockery of me. I also started meticulously documenting Jessica's finances. She'd been embezzling money from her own store, funneling it into a secret account and escape fund. I contacted a forensic accountant and the best divorce lawyer in Chicago. We set the traps, legal and social, with painstaking precision. I transferred all our joint assets into a trust that she couldn't touch, citing a clause in our prenuptial agreement she had laughed at when we signed it. The public exposure was a masterpiece of destruction. Jessica had been planning a major launch party for her new clothing line, an event she'd been pouring all her energy into. She had invited Chicago's fashion elite, influencers, and local media. It was to be her crowning achievement. And it was. Just not in the way she imagined. As she stood on the stage, beaming under the spotlights, a large screen behind her suddenly flickered to life. It wasn't her fashion reel. It was a slideshow. It started with a photo of her and Mark, kissing, then another and another. Text messages glowing in stark white against a black background detailed their affair and their contempt for me. A low murmur rippled through the crowd, turning into a wave of shocked gasps. I watched from the back of the room as the color drained from Jessica's face. Her arrogant smile crumbled into a mask of pure horror. Then the final slide appeared. Bank statements, showing the thousands of dollars she had stolen from her business. Her business partner, whose investment she'd been squandering, was standing right in the front row. It was a symphony of ruin. She was destroyed. Socially, she was a pariah. Legally, she was facing fraud charges and a divorce that would leave her with nothing. Mark, the coward, had disappeared. His phone disconnected. The last I heard, he'd left the state. The courtroom was a formality. The judge looked at the mountain of evidence, and then at Jessica, her face a wreck of tear-streaked makeup, and granted the divorce on grounds of adultery and financial misconduct. She lost everything: the store, the money, the reputation. She was left with nothing but the consequences of her own choices. I walked out of the courtroom and didn't look back. The city felt different, colder. The victory didn't feel warm or satisfying. It was just quiet. The silence in my apartment is the loudest sound I've ever heard. The end.